On this episode of the Red Eye Report, we discuss what has been called the Great Resignation. A lot of people quit their jobs during the pandemic. Where did they all go? I don't know.
Vegas.
Yeah, Wendy's in Vegas.
Vegas.
The Wendy's in Vegas.
Yeah.
With me this week is Ashtray. He's fucking ridiculous and a dick in the box.
Dick in the box.
Yep.
Can't be argued with.
Not much else to say there.
Another way to continue.
We have Mistic. He's the king of quiet quitting. Nothing more than what the job requires, and that extends to life. No more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you'll be in the middle of a conversation with Mistic.
Bare
Disappears on you.
minimum.
We
Right.
have Teddy. He's the working man, except when he's on a cruise.
But-
Which is all the
yeah,
time.
Yeah, right?
Not all the fucking time.
Seems like
Not
you're
all
on a
the time,
cruise,
just
like,
2 times a year.
yeah.
Why? Okay,
Quarterly.
y'all are making fun of me because I go on cruises.
I'm making fun of you.
Why
Trying to
not
take me on a
make-
cruise, and then I'll be like,
Go
Teddy,
vacation.
this is the best thing ever.
It's pure jealousy.
Mhm. And guess what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but you
No.
use the group
And
on
guess
for it.
I was just gonna say I booked him through Groupon.
And
Did that for me.
And then finally, there's me, Oracle. I'm part of the Let It Rot movement. Not like the Chinese counterculture movement, more like the spaghetti that's been rotting in the back of my fridge for the past month. And this is the Red Eye Report.
Ugh, where you don't even want to
That's-
see the damage, so you just kind of ignore it. But
Old right,
right.
there.
you
bro.
see glances of it when you move the fucking pickles.
Right.
It's like, ooh.
Yeah. Just let it go till it starts weeping on your
Yeah,
other
or
food.
the wife takes care of it.
Right.
The man plan.
Before we get going here, we have the weekly benefit event for the Dane County
shit.
Humane Society. Pause for the cause. This week we have
God.
Pete the Putateki.
What's a Putataki?
Putateki. He is
Marsupial or
the bird of the century
bird.
in New Zealand.
bird of the century?
Yeah.
Ooh, damn, look at that bird.
Yeah, Pete
Thanks to
has.
John Oliver.
He looked like his face got hit by a sandblaster and turned inside out.
Well,
What the fuck?
that's what will happen to you when you have 6 DUIs, like Pete.
Pete the Puteki Teki, the
Yep.
alcoholic Puteki Teki.
Yep.
Flying drunk.
Yep.
That's what'll happen. when you
Lost
have
his
6
fucking
DUIs.
license.
He actually flew into a fucking jet.
Right.
Just grazed his face.
Yeah. So anything that you donate will help Pete get some bus passes so he can get a fucking job.
Fuck that. I brought these behind first.
Right. Oh, man, that poor bastard.
Fucking bum.
God bless Pete.
Yeah.
Fucking bum.
Fucking bum.
All right. So, Great Resignation. We had
Tell us about it.
Yeah, our pandemic, and then it was just like, oh, somewhere along the line, and this is kind of what got me thinking about this, is like, everywhere you fucking go, they're like, oh, we can't find anybody. We don't have any servers. We don't have anybody to cut your hair. We don't
Yep.
have blah, 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 like across the board. And it's like, what? What the
It's like
fuck?
the demand for service was exceeding the supply of
I
servers.
feel like that's just them talking some bullshit, because it's not that they don't have anybody, it's that they don't want to pay anybody
Mhm.
to do the jobs, in my opinion.
Right.
And other places are willing to pay you more. Why would you stay there?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
That's me. You did the research, so
yeah. So that's
Well,
kind.
bro, you're wrong.
That's kind of what it comes down to. But let's talk about. A lot of people did quit their jobs, and actually, 47 million Americans quit their
Damn.
jobs. Yeah,
That's a good
I
chunk.
know I did. I know I fucking
I
moved
did too.
What year? Okay, what time-wise?
This is
When did you
2020?
each quit?
2020 is kind of when this really went down.
This whole
But
shit.
Well, yeah, but when did you resign in relation to with the pandemic hit?
well, that would have been
Within that same year?
No, it wasn't within that same year. So I relocated and switched industries. So, and that would have been 2022 that I did that.
Yeah, Mistic.
Mine was 21.
But there were definitely
in 2020
factors.
we tried to start a union at Fox, and it took that long for all of us to get pissed enough to leave. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, as I said, like you couldn't make a union, so it's just like people were like, "Fuck it,
right.
better than this." And the world was fucking up in the air.
Well, and that's the thing that I've really come to realize doing some research on this is it's kind of hard to see how big of a disruption was actually taking place, when you're kind of in it at the time. And even now, we're still coming out of the tail end of this, but across the globe, there are really some big kind of ramifications because of COVID, and not necessarily just the people getting sick and dying and whatnot, but people reflecting on and thinking about like, hey, what's my job? Why am I doing this? Am I happy here? Can I do something else? I've got the stimulus money to think about this. And
a lot of people reflect.
Right.
Dude, there were servers that were that they took the money and stayed home, and they would use it to take those little boot camps, like 6-month boot camps.
Yeah.
To get a certification. Because companies would hire you with a certification.
Hell yeah.
And then they could do something
like going to you're talking like going to the trades, like getting trade certifications.
Yeah, like an online certification. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's get into some of the numbers here. This has been called the Great Resignation, the Big Quit, or the Great Reshuffle. And if you look at this, I've got my little fuck off chart here. These are monthly quits.
Oh man, that really fucks off.
Yeah, you got monthly quits in the United States, and if you look at this,
red and mean at the end.
Yeah, red and mean at the end, and just look at this dip here though in 2020, and so that's the quit rate dropping significantly because that's when people were uncertain about their job future.
Right. Everyone thought I'm probably going to be fired or lose my job.
Yeah. It's like, well, fuck, I don't know what to do. I'm not going to go anywhere. At least I still have a job. And you actually see a similar dip like that. This chart doesn't have it. They've been tracking this since like 2000 or so. There's something very similar that happened in 2008 as well. Like 2008, 2009 with the Great Recession. And then it spikes up here. But we're going to talk about this because if you look at this chart, there's kind of a trend. A pretty steady trend for a long time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this only goes back to 2012, but that kind of, you're talking like that commonality that like no one works at a job for 30, 40 years into the pension anymore. Well, yeah. Everybody just flippy flops.
And this is the quit rate in the United States. It's steadily been rising since 2000. It jumped. Now, granted, it jumped in 2021, but then again, we had some, like what Teddy was saying, people were taking these boot camps. They had time to be able to reflect on this and to make a change.
Right. Or time to just be like, I don't know what else.
Well, those were the nice ones. The other retards are all trying to become TikTok stars.
Yeah, how'd that work out for
I just played Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, or you could do that. Right.
Like a true American patriot.
You could do that.
That's what Mistic did.
All right. So they... let's see here. The U.S. resignation rate never surpassed 2.4% total workforce per month. And
that's the highest so far. Is 2.4% of the workforce per month.
2.4 is still pretty big, though. Like when they talk about like relative numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, kind of getting into the causes here. So according to Microsoft's Work Trend Index, more than 40% of the global workforce were considering quitting their job in 2021.
Wow.
40%.
I mean, shit got real.
Yeah.
The pandemic was a fucking stressor, especially working in a small business.
Yeah.
Well, and everyone who couldn't work from home was just pissed off, and I don't blame them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck, dude. Like, that's ridiculous.
So it was kind of like across the board, and they go into that, rethinking their careers, work conditions, long-term goals. When people were brought or told to come in person, they would get pissed off or whatever at that time. A lot of people. So one thing that isn't discussed in these numbers is a lot of people retired early during that time.
Yeah.
Like a huge amount.
In teaching, it was huge because my wife's dealing with it now because they just don't have enough teachers. Like they had to get international teachers.
Yeah. So that's a big,
I could wait another 5 years, but the world's so fucked, I'm going to retire now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was like a really big amount, and that kind of equates for like where did the people go? Also, where did the people go? During that time, during the COVID pandemic, immigration was shut down. Immigration is a huge influx of the workforce in the United States and population in general. That ground to a standstill during that time. So that's another big consideration here.
Think about it. That probably runs fucking a good 30 to 40% of the goddamn restaurants.
Restaurants, yeah.
Right.
Restaurants, yeah.
And those are the industries
that had to close because their fucking workforce just
the service industries,
kitchens, bro.
Things like that, restaurants, they're still kind of reeling from this. They have not recovered their workforce. They've been hit the hardest.
Yeah, and it's so hard to keep any sort of like regular talent. People just fucking quit for whatever reason.
Yeah,
they don't even show up when they've been hired, and they don't even show up for the first day.
Right. Well,
you hear those
now
kind of stories.
It's kind of interesting because things are leveling off, and where there are signs that during this time, over the past few years or whatever, 3 years, power was with the workers to be able to make these choices, switch jobs. You'd get a pretty good wage increase. I think one of Australia, for their numbers, when people move jobs, they average like a 9% pay raise when they switch jobs. And that was a lot of it. A lot of times people were getting higher paid jobs. Well, we have, I had never heard of this, but now that I've seen it, something called quiet cutting is beginning to happen.
Ooh.
So there's quiet quitting.
Is that where you self-harm in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Sounds like something that HR would not like.
Yeah, well, there's quiet quitting, and I had heard of quiet quitting, but I wasn't exactly sure what that was.
Just not showing up?
Well, no, that's different. That's just being a piece of shit. No, quiet quitting is when you do the absolute bare minimum. You will not do anything above and beyond what your job requires you to do. And basically, enough to keep employment, but you will absolutely not do anything outside of that. That's quiet quitting.
35 years.
Yeah, right.
It's called working, man.
Yeah.
It's called working to my pay level.
Now there's something called quiet cutting, and that is coming from the employer side. And basically what they do is they will reassign you into a role that maybe is something that you're not necessarily aligned with, or it could even be a pay cut, but they are not. It's like passive aggressive firing.
Is it like putting you in a position you'll hate? So
yes.
You just leave?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So now,
you've seen The Wire, Teddy. It's when they move McNulty on the boat and shit.
Oh,
remember after that?
I've worked in restaurants. I mean,
Teddy's like, I know about.
I do that all the time.
You just put them on like a Tuesday night shift only. And we'll let them pick up any other
shit
shifts.
tips. Fucking Tuesdays.
They'll pick up any other shifts, bro.
Yeah, so that prevalence of that is starting to become more prevalent. So they're saying, like economists are saying, like, okay, well maybe things are tipping a little bit, and some of that kind of power that the workers and the mobility that they had before, that could be waning now. So some of the other, the Harvard Business Review, they kind of had a really good take on this Great Resignation, and what they thought it actually was. And one thing that they said is that this quiet quitting, I'm going to bring up another fuck off chart here. It's just in line.
Favorite kind of charts.
It's just in line with the trend that existed, but it seems so much more pronounced because of the pandemic, and because people were not quitting during that time when they were like, oh shit, I don't know if like the economy's gonna collapse or whatever the fuck. So
we're back to this general angle that
we've been on this angle, for a long time, since 2001 or whenever they started taking this. So retirement, they state that retirement, let's see here. Okay, so during the
how many really talented people are just like, I ain't fucking deal with this shit.
Yeah,
retire early.
Yeah, and get this: during the Great Recession between 2007 and 2009, there was a 1% increase in workforce participation among workers 55 years and older, whereas during the Great Resignation, there was a 1.9% decline. So basically, during that time, during the Great Recession, old people were working at Walmart and shit because they're like, fuck, I don't have any economic stability or whatever. Whereas during the COVID pandemic, they're just like, fuck it, I'm done. See ya. I'm
down.
Yeah, I'm going.
If I gotta stay at home, I'm going to stay at home.
Yeah. There's this kind of myth of relocation, like, oh man, all these workers, they like tech bros and stuff. Now they're up in the ski slopes and all these
Austin,
people.
Texas.
Right. That's actually not true. Yes, that happened, but it's actually a very small percentage of people that actually did that. So the overall movement rate in 2021 was the lowest on record for more than 70 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Swear to God, people keep moving.
Yeah. Rates of relocation have been declining steadily since the 1980s, and COVID has now reversed that trend.
I feel like that's not true for certain areas because people.
Well, sure, for certain, there are definitely certain fuck off areas.
If you live in a hot city, it's like you always notice. It seems like people are moving there, but if you live in fucking Platteville, Wisconsin,
yeah, probably not a lot of movement. Maybe bowel movements down at the VFW.
Yeah, right.
That's about it. Okay, reconsideration, people thinking about their jobs, man, this is kind of burning me out or whatever. They had a little bit more space, a little bit more time where they could actually think about that and do something about it. One of the, this guy, this Bharat Ramamurthy, deputy director of the National Economic Council, coined the phrase, the Great Upgrade, where people moved up from low-wage industries. So kind of like what Teddy was talking about, where they were taking like the boot camps and shit like that. Another thing that was really interesting, and I've seen this going in like Walmart and stuff. I don't know if you guys have seen like Walmart, McDonald's, where it'll have signs about paying for college, paying for tuition of employees.
Yeah. Although I sometimes wonder, it's like, yeah, we pay for tuition to our college.
Yeah. No.
Well, they may pay for it, but you may have to sign a contract. Like,
right.
Oh, you got to work for some
like
years.
You work there for 5 years after because they pay for your bachelor's in business or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's something that they were having a difficult time. And that's when like McDonald's up their wage up to like $17 an hour.
Yeah, I've seen signs for that, like $18 an hour for starting out shit.
In some places because they didn't have enough people. They were able to get the people that they needed in these college programs, tuition reimbursement programs. Those seem to have helped. So these are kind of like the big job things. But I stumbled across something else as I was doing this, and I wasn't aware of it at all, and that's this stuff that's been going on in China kind of at the same time as a result of this. And I heard about this like lying flat movement. This is one of the things, and the let it rot movement. So the Tang Ping and the Bailan movements.
And what country did these originate in?
China. So this is all in China. And basically, this started right around the time that the Great Resignation stuff started. And for this first one, this lying flat, basically there was this guy, Chinese guy. He had been working in a factory for a period of time. This Luo Hojong, username Kind-Hearted Traveler, and he was on this internet forum, Baidu Taba, and he was like, you know what? Fuck this factory job. And he cycled 1,300 miles from Sichuan to Tibet. And he spent his time reading philosophy, getting odd jobs, and eating 2 meals a day. And
living off his girlfriend's fucking...
Right, and this just kind of blew up. He was just kind of like... And we probably all know somebody like this that just kind of just whatever. They're fine with just getting by however they can. It's not, glamorous or whatever. Definitely not doing the 9-to-5 thing.
Taking the easiest route.
Right. But in China, this blew the fuck up. Like, this became a huge deal to the point that the Chinese government started censoring this and shutting it down because people are like, oh,
can't just lying down.
You mean we don't have to work 7 days a week?
Exactly. Yeah. We don't need to slave away. We can actually do this. Because one of the things that they were doing and is popular in China is the 996 working hour system.
Yeah.
So that is 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days per week, 72 hours per week.
Yeah, I saw that on some documentary, some Vice documentary.
Yeah,
thing.
And this is
they better be giving me meth.
Yeah, very common in the country. And another contributing factor here. So we have this lying down, and then this has kind of morphed into this let it rot, which is kind of what's going on now. Now, let it rot. So the lying down, that's kind of like lowest resistant
is it kind of like a
guy.
Peaceful protest, like the sit-in strikes,
right?
Where it's just like we're just gonna sit here and like nothing's gonna get done because we're just gonna not do anything.
But the let it rot is almost like kind of nihilism, like fuck it.
That's what it sounds like.
I don't give a shit.
Fuck everything.
Like let it rot
in my bed.
So like let it rot is that. Lying down is more kind of like, well, whatever. I'm just going to do.
Let it rot is
me.
like shitting in your own bed.
Yeah, just being like such a like I'm.
You know what? Fuck
really?
it.
Giving up on everything.
Maybe it's not to that degree or whatever, but it's kind of like
for some people.
It's like a societal thing where the young people are just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, if you ask me to do something...
Like, look at all these cities we built nobody lives in.
Right. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a shit about any of this.
None of us can afford it.
And it's this countercultural movement that's actually taking place in China right now and is growing at a rapid rate because the Chinese economy was blowing the fuck up until around probably about 2012. And it's been cooling down. And now it's cooling down considerably. And these young people that were in China. They're working these fucking 96 or 72-hour weeks, and they're not getting shit. They're getting shit on.
You know what sounds like more fun? Laying in bed and pissing and shitting myself.
Right. They're not actually pissing and shitting themselves.
Why are you so hung up on
I watched a documentary about it.
Ashtray just wants to try it.
Right.
You know,
right. He just right.
No, he's already tried it. No, it's Ashtray.
But I was listening to some Chinese people
itchy.
talk about this, and they're just like, if me and my friends, if we are playing a game together and we start losing, we're just like, fuck it. We're not going to play this anymore. We'll play something easier. Or if they're playing basketball and their team is losing, they'll just stop playing. And it's just kind
that's
of
kind of weird.
Right. It's just like, fuck it. I don't give a shit.
What's that term the comedians use, I think, or improv, where it's like, you can't punk the game? Where it's like that kind of the way it's like you're punking the game. It's just like, I'm just not going to
play. Period.
Yep.
Like, fuck this.
And sit here like a lump.
Right. And this is a huge,
you're still paying for your improv class, Pops. Get the
huge countercultural movement that's taking place in China right now, to the point where the president, Xi Jinping, is like, hey, young people, I need you to fucking step the fuck up here. And do something, and they're just like, fuck off, old man, Pooh Bear.
Yeah.
Pooh Bear.
Look up Pooh Bear. We've got
and then 1,700 of them die.
We got VPN.
Seriously.
Right. So yeah, this was really interesting and still developing. I didn't know, but it all of this really kind of that spark was the COVID pandemic and all the lockdowns and everything, because it just disrupted all of kind of the workplace stuff, that we have been doing for so many years.
Still seeing it in my workplace when it comes to supply chain stuff.
Yeah,
like usually the turnaround's better now, but still all of our suppliers are short-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like, all right, here's a new driver,
Yeah, they're probably
starting
Chinese.
to like the old driver. Like, who's this weirdo?
Probably Chinese. They're just like, fuck it, man.
Oh, right. Let's send our angsty teens to work for Americans and piss them off so much that they just all quiet quit.
So there you have it. Great Resignation and all that good stuff.
Yeah, right.
The
Keep
people
working, old bitches.
Right. The people didn't just fucking disappear. It's not true that there is some truth to like, oh, people don't want to work. Well, they don't want to work for your shit ass wages.
Exactly.
They want something better than that. They still exist. The people are still there.
Like, why would you go work at Burger King for $9 an hour when
right
they're paying 17 at McDonald's?
Right. Unless you're, fucking slinging shit in the bathroom.
Right. And I remember before the pandemic too, there was really that strong kind of like, hustle culture kind of thing. Like, oh man, I'm driving for Uber and I'm fucking doing this and I'm doing that and that.
You're absolutely right.
Doing all those things.
The gig economy.
I didn't think about that.
How much do you hear about that nowadays?
Right. Not at all.
Lot.
Well, I think a lot of people are having that realization, which is like, you can't work 3 or 4 jobs without going insane.
Right.
Look at me.
Yeah, look at him. You want to end up like Ashtray?
Yeah, I don't want to end up like Ashtray. It's just a fucking old strung out peacock.
Our restaurant had a problem when they said people could go back to work, and they stopped giving out the and your assistants ran out. We had so many people that were applying for unemployment when their job was there, and they just didn't want to go back.
Yeah,
and it was just like, so many people. I'm like, we told you to come on back in, man.
And doesn't usually the employer has some sort of like, they pay for that unemployment, right?
Yeah, they do.
That people forget that it's a small business.
There you go.
Yep.
So that's that section. Quit your job, do whatever the fuck you want. We don't care.
Right.
All right, moving on to the next section of the show.
We'll just make a topic of it.
Yep. What's sexy? This is where we tell you to Poke a beehive with a garden rake.
Nope. That's some white folks shit. Don't do that.
Yeah, that sounds like a fuck what you think to me.
First up, we have Teddy with Call of Duty 3-ish.
Okay, so I got the new Call of Duty. It's pretty much a rehash of the last one. The main reason I like it is because this is all of the maps that the game came with. They're all the Modern Warfare 2 maps from the old 360 game.
Kind of nostalgic.
So, very, very fun nostalgic. I mean, I
bet you're just like,
dude. I'm just, it's so awesome. I mean, my first match I went like 17-4, and I was like, because I know where I'm going. It's just so nostalgic. I'm like, oh man, look at this kid hiding up here thinking he's something new. No, we did that back in the day, buddy. It's just the nostalgia, fun. And,
just like surprising noobs left and right. Bitch, you were.
I've heard that the campaign is not as good as the old ones, but I play it mostly for the multiplayer anyway. So, but I mean, the guns handle great. They took all that jumpy shit out. It's still Call of Duty, so you got to shoot them off like 18 times, but it's fun.
Those Russians are tough.
I'm interested to play they rehashed the level, the airport. I don't know if y'all played the old game. The level called No Russians, where you shoot up the airport.
Oh yeah, you come out the elevator.
Oh yeah.
They rehashed that one. So
now rehash.
Wait,
they didn't.
I guess I'm a little confused on this because that was 2, right?
Right. That's why I said ish. Okay.
Okay.
But
it's like, what the fuck? Didn't they just remake 2?
Right. They remade. Yeah, this is a reboot, and so look, buddy. Don't fuck with the numbers. Fuck with the game. Right? Don't try to explain it.
It's just like DC's been doing.
It's a reboot. Calm down.
It's just money, man.
Yeah,
they're making money. That's all they're doing.
Take a good idea then and make it better.
Yeah, but if you played the old game, man, and want to fuck some kids up, hop on in. It's awesome.
That
give it a horse.
Though,
give it some heterosexual sex.
What?
Sell it to moms around the world.
Not that fuck.
We got some weird shit going on here at the Reddit Report.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, don't know about the it was the formula for a mom's favorite movie is some horses and heterosexual sex. Normatives.
Yeah, I'll give it that.
On Lifetime or Hallmark Channel.
During the holidays. It doesn't necessarily
somebody lost their new Christmas puppy.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have Mistic with True Detective Season 3.
So I know this is like 4 years old by now, 3 years old, however long. But I was like, you know what? I haven't seen Season 3. Saw 1 and 2. I liked 1 a lot. 2 is whatever. And 3 was fucking fantastic. Mahershala Ali stars in it along with Skeet Ulrich, the protagonist, or the antagonist from Scream. If you guys remember, huh? The great Skeet Ulrich.
Fuck.
Anyway,
the original Scream.
He's actually really good at this. And I don't really know the other people. They're great actors, but it's just a fucking dude. It's the way they do it. There's like 3 different time periods. This guy's trying to remember this case that he worked on like 40 some years before, right? 35 or something. Yeah, it's 35. And he can't because he's got dementia or slowly going to it. And it's just, dude, the fucking end, like it's like I still haven't really processed it because you're watching it and you're like, oh, there's going to be an ending. And they rip the fucking carpet out from under you. Like they fuck with your head.
Rug pull.
And then you get all depressed because you're like, oh, really? That's what happened? Like it's just
what's going.
There's no happy ending whatsoever. And it makes it fantastic, but it's hard when there's no closure like that. It's fucking
life though. And that's kind of why it's satisfying.
Right. It's it is a very cool season. It's 8 episodes. Very well done.
I've only seen the first season. Now I take it each season is a completely like different story.
Yeah, you can watch each season independently.
So I've watched season 3. Doesn't matter.
2 isn't worth watching.
That's what I heard.
With you. 3 is good though. It's worth it. And the new season comes out with Jodie Foster. Season 4 comes out in like February, I want to say.
Oh shit, Jodie Foster. She hasn't been in anything in a hot minute, has she?
She was in Elysium. She was the bad guy in Elysium with Matt Damon.
Oh,
a while back.
Yeah, sure. But that's still kind of a bit back, but whatever.
Yeah,
She's got she old Hollywood royalty as well?
Clout. Exactly. Yeah, she has so much clout. She only needs to do one movie every 5 years. And
right. She's probably adopting puppies from the Dane County Humane Society.
Yeah, absolutely.
The biggest fan.
All right.
All right, moving on. Oh, that's an amazing background, Teddy. MS Paint. Holy shit. All right, moving on to the next. Or wait, who's next here? Me. Proteus. So Proteus is a boomer shooter. It's
boomer shooter.
So it's kind of an old school doomy type shooter. It's in like a 3D engine, but it's got a nice filter on it that makes it
look old school.
Do they call these rail shooters where like because you're such on like or is that a different term?
No, it's not a rail shooter. It's just so a boomer shooter is a very fast-paced first-person shooter, just like Quake, just like Doom, that type of thing.
Duke Nukem.
Yeah. It's bloody as shit. It's a lot of fun. I kind of find it to be kind of meditative a bit. Like you're playing it, and
it's old school nostalgic, right?
Yeah, and the levels are like 10 minutes, 8-10 minutes that you go through, and it's just fucking like nonstop action. You're just shredding enemies, and then you're done. You get a little palate cleanser or whatever. You go out to the overworld, and then if you want, you can continue on, or you can save it and come back to it another day.
Go feed the potato.
Yeah, go feed the potato. Yeah, it's out. It's a great game. It's actually in the Humble Bundle for November on PC. So very good, and I believe it's on consoles as well.
It is. It's on.
Nice.
Okay, next up we have Ashtray with fixing that trash dick volume on my new phone.
Yes. So
Jesus.
This is the most fucking emasculating experience, was finally making myself upgrade my smartphone. And of course, they don't have headphone jacks anymore. And so when I'm there at the store, I'm like, yeah, I need one of those dongles to change from the USB-C to the headphone jack. And man, plug in that. What's that?
You don't have a set of Bluetooth headphones?
I don't want to wear headphones when I'm fucking driving. Put it that way. I want to use the sound system because I do have the nice JBL sound system. Yeah, my vehicle is old as fuck, but it's beaten in. It's paid off, and like it's got a great fucking sound system. And when you're used for years of like I've had it for 10 years, right? Like rocking out with that sound system turned up. I never had to go much over 40, right? Goes up to 60 max. I put it at 60 max with this little fucking dongle. It looks like a little single fucking ball strand. And it's 50% of my normal. It's just like the whole like I had to listen to the radio because there's just no volume to it. Anyways, so I realized what it is because that little fucking thing, the actual conversion of the digital signal to an analog signal for the headphone jack is happening in that little, what just looks like a converter cord and a little chip. So I got this FIO.
It's smaller than what it looks like on Amazon.
Yeah,
which is good.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, if you bring up the Amazon pictures, but and it's got a hefty weight, smooth little like, kind of like you said, about the size of a lighter, a little bit wider. So what this is a Bluetooth DAC, digital audio converter or digital analog converter, and it's got your headphone jack, and also another little like fucking 2.5 millimeter. I'm like, who the fuck uses that? Anyways, this thing has its own battery too. So when you're using that dongle on your smartphone and you don't have a headphone jack, you're actually using the phone's energy to make that analog signal. And that's why it was like this trash dick signal. There's just like no balls to it. This thing's got its own battery in it. And when you Bluetooth there, you're not drawing hardly any energy off of your smartphone. This thing's got its own battery to power that.
So that battery,
amplifier.
Is it a rechargeable battery or how does, okay.
Yeah, it's got it. So it's got like, a USB-C. Like,
so you bought a preamp is what you bought.
Basically, yeah. It's a preamp. It's like a headphone preamp. That is also Bluetooth. There's a shit ton of them actually, because they've been a big thing since Apple, was the first phone, because this has like been 3 years, I think now, since smartphones have been getting rid of the headphone jack because it gives them more room for their own battery. There is no need to have that equipment to actually convert the digital music to an analog signal for the headphone jack.
So I had the same problem with the Tucson. I ended up getting a little something you plugged into the light, the where you put the lighter at, and it was a Bluetooth. You link to it, and you can program it to any radio channel that you want.
Yeah, that's what I use.
Yeah,
and then it would play your music through it, and it was pretty good quality.
Yeah, and see that might like that thing itself. What it really is like this is the thing that actually gives you the balls, the gain for that signal, because the smartphone doesn't have it. I went through all this stupid YouTube like secret oh yeah, turn the volume up. I turned this setting on. It said like, are you 60 plus years old and you have a hard time hearing? Like we'll boost the highs and the lows for you. It was so stupid. There was like 3 options based on your age range. It's like retarded. Like I just want my phone to fucking be loud. Yeah. And so anyways, there is, if you're not an audiophile, there's just a whole shit ton of like reviews for these kind of things. A lot of them are made in China, but and then the FiO BTR5, it was $100 on Amazon. Like, yeah,
about $100.
But some of these other ones that are getting reviewed, they're $300, $600.
Jesus
but they're
Christ!
Like,
dude, that piece I was talking about was like 30.
And it's like there are ones that are not they don't have their own battery, but they are like you plug them into the bottom of your phone still. So it's like a better version of the little dongle. Yeah. And that they can basically use the more energy from your phone to give a better ballsy output signal. This I just settled on the sense that like, okay, it's Bluetooth. I just keep this in my car plugged into the headphone jack cord. All you gotta do is just like turn it on and then it syncs to my phone and I start playing whatever. So it fixed that problem.
Word.
And they give you this nice little fucking, little clippy old carrying case.
There you go. Boom. $100.
Now it's a beeper.
$100. If you got no balls with your new smartphone, with your headphone dongle, get the FiO. We'll have it in the outline.
Okay, next up, we got Fuck What You Think, where we throw broken bottles and cans into the playground.
Yeah, right.
Tell you to fuck off. First up, we have Ashtray, classic fuck my commute road construction.
Oh, yeah. So Oracle can relate because he's familiar with the downtown Isthmus of Madison. It is, this concentrated piece of land. The only way to get to my work is to go to John Nolan Drive, and you have to go under the Monona Terrace. And road construction has been going on forever in this fucking city this year. I think it's just like, oh yeah, we had all this funding, so they're just trying to do everything all at once.
Yeah,
probably spending exactly that goddamn
COVID the same way in
funding.
Milwaukee.
Absolutely, man. It's all over.
Is that way in Milwaukee? Yeah. And good for all the people in that industry. And yes, we are way overdue, right? But Jesus goddamn Christ.
I know.
Trying to get to fucking work. To go under the Monona Terrace is what I have to do. Take this route anyways around the lake. So the only other way is to go completely around the other lake, and that's easily an extra 10, 15 minutes, depending on traffic. And there's road construction that way. So it's just like, motherfucker.
Get a bike, dude.
And I know, right? There was a period. I borrowed a bike for a little bit when I had my car getting worked on. But it's also getting that time of year where like, no, I don't want a car. And also, I got this thing so I can fucking jam out in my car and fucking get ready and pumped up for fucking work. Anyways, it's that kind of same old. But with Madison, it's just like there's very few options. So there's like
you get funneled into one piece of land, right?
Yeah. So geographically,
like, lakes are on both sides.
Some of those streets are one way.
Yeah.
You've got like
I remember that was
4 or 5 up on this end of the main drag, and then 3 or 4 down on this end of the drag, and everyone's trying to come into the isthmus to work, and I'm trying to get out. And even then, so underneath that terrace, there have like what is normally 3 lanes gets boiled down to 1 lane. So taking my side, it's a side cut. It's not a shortcut, but it's a side cut. Like if things are really fucked, I can kind of go around this way.
That, dude, they did that by the Mayfair Mall, like the biggest mall in Milwaukee. My daughter during the summer worked at the golf course that's right behind that mall. So like I made the mistake. They funneled this fucking 3 lanes down to 1 for like 6 straight blocks, dude. I was stuck in there for like 15 fucking minutes. I was so mad.
Yeah, and then like trying to figure out how you get snarled in that. It's like, how do I get out?
It still took like 8 extra minutes, but Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing worse or unproductive feeling than being stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
Even though on the grand scale, it's like, I'm 5 minutes late for work.
And he's like, that's why I have a motorcycle, you fucking bitches.
No, the one I have now can't go in between cars, but also being stuck in traffic being stuck in a stop and go traffic in a stick shift is a pain in the ass also. So
yeah,
I drove a stick for a while. So
stick?
I had a stick.
I love the stick. I miss a stick. You can't get a stick now unless you want a fucking Mustang. When you're looking at used cars,
you can get them. You just got to get it brand new. You got to order it that way.
Exactly.
You can still order stick.
Certain vehicles.
Some vehicles will.
But like the RAV4, they stopped doing a stick in 2008.
I know the Mazda 3 does it.
Yeah. I know like Bets and shit you can, obviously. Mustangs. High-end shit.
Yeah.
I know trucks.
I haven't, or it was 2011 when I had the accident and like got my RAV4. And it's like, when you look, I wanted a manual. And it's like so much in the used vehicle market, it's all fucking Mustangs. It's fucking Mustangs.
Get yourself a Mustang.
Yeah, right.
All right, moving on. Next up, we've got
now they're electric.
Goddamn warm weather. Saturday.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, some bitch. Saturday's
the balls
gonna be
are descending.
First day of gun deer season in Wisconsin. And it's going to be over 50 degrees out there. A lot of years, last year included, there was snow on the ground, which helps to see the deer, to help track the deer. And now it's going to be warm as shit out there. So, I don't know. Yeah. It's just, it's fine or whatever.
I'm glad you're doing it, though, bud.
Yep,
doing it for America. Never got a deer. Also, I wondered, like, so do you just like read your phone and just listen?
No, I don't read my phone. The fuck?
I haven't been deer hunting since
That's how you think deer hunting works?
Ashtray gets up and dances.
I'm saying like pass the time. I'm sure there's some deer hunters who are looking on their fucking smartphone, just kind of like bored.
Yeah, probably, and they're probably not getting any fucking deer either.
They're not killing anything for sure.
I'm not out there. Some people are sitting out there for like a week, from dawn till dusk. I go out in the morning and I go out like an hour before it gets dark because that's when the deer come out. And I sit there and I listen and watch, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of a nice, the mindful, just being in the forest and
getting away from the family.
Yep. So that's good, but it's going to be warm as shit out there. So
getting away from the TikToks.
Yeah, those darn TikToks.
Warm as shit though. Like,
I mean,
what's wrong with it?
Well, it's just
it's harder to track the deer, bro.
Yeah, I guess
it's more. It's for tracking the deer, but also it's more me just being a grumpy old man with my
not the way I want it.
The cold weather nostalgia of
like just sitting in a
global warming.
I'm just sitting in an open stand in a tree.
So then why you needed to track a deer?
Well, if you shoot it,
if you're sitting in a stand and
shoot it. Oh, I got you.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're not tracking it down to kill it.
Damn, you're out there tracking this motherfucker, jumping on its back.
I'm a fucking werewolf, dude.
Yeah, right. I don't use a rifle. I just use a
shit, Oracle's into this hunting thing, huh?
No, when you shoot them, even if you hit them good, deer are resilient motherfuckers. They can move quite a bit, even if they're bleeding fucking profusely. They can cover a good bit of ground, and it gets way more difficult to find where they die.
How many have you got over these?
I don't know, probably 5, 6,
nice,
something like that. There were years that I didn't go. Last year I got an 8-point buck.
I never
and
had
a doe actually. Was it a doe and an 8-point buck? Yeah, last year. So that was good. But we'll see what happens.
You ever go Mistic?
My car once.
Yeah.
No, I've never gone hunting. I don't want to hunt.
I do. I want to go hunting.
That's what I grew up with.
What you do, I don't care. You know
as a kid, I have these fond memories of this little fucking shanty shed right next to our house. The little wood stove, and they fucking make the eggs and bacon in the morning. We slept on cots. It's it was adult camping in the 80s, but the uncles were all there as a little kid.
Yeah, it's an event.
Yeah, it was a traditional thing, all the way up and through high school. But I never got a fucking deer.
Yep. Now they wouldn't even be able to start. They'd be like, "It's too hot. We can't do the stove."
Oh yeah, right.
Global warming.
Yeah, no, they put a fucking electric griddle. We would get Uber Eats.
Yeah, Uber Eats.
You want some bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits from Mickey's, please, before we go hunting.
Oh,
we're gonna sit on these wrappers, keep our butts warm.
Okay, next up we have Mistic with I can't do math, so I use a calculator.
All right, so here's the deal. Our 4:00 producer, I think he has Asperger's or something. I probably shouldn't be making fun of him because he probably is mentally retarded, but he obviously can't spell, and he should know that by now, right? He's 25, 26. Actually, he may even be older than that. I don't know. He spelled the word term today in one of our slugs, TERM, TIRM, right? Twice. He spelled that twice.
And is this on the screen on the broadcast?
No, okay. Just in our system. In our slugs for the fucking way that our servers run the show, but if somebody was to search for that word that we used, it was preterm birth.
Yeah,
to pull that up later,
it wouldn't pull it up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a problem. You need to spell shit correctly, and he knows he can't spell, dude. Like I said. I know I can't do math, so I use a fucking calculator.
Right.
You have Google right at your fingertips, man.
Yeah.
Just fucking, oh my God.
No, wait, okay, so it's probably not through a web browser where there's no spell check or auto check on the...
I don't know if there's a spell check. It's through a program called iNews, which is made by App. I think there is a spell check in it, to be fucking honest with you.
Maybe
and it's
just
still
being
fucked
too
up
lazy.
because there's no way TIRM.
Right, and you
pass.
can
term.
And
Yeah, no.
It isn't a fuck up. It isn't like a keyboard fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those letters.
That should put a little fucking red line under it, right?
Close.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just holy
You're absolutely
fuck.
right, though. When it comes the archival process, like those kind of fucking things, fuck it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Man.
So anyway, fuck them.
Yep. Way to go.
Dumbass.
Get a
Ruin the
fucking
archive.
Webster's dictionary, you fucking retard.
Right?
Right.
That segment that we're never ever going to use again. Well, if we ever needed to, you fucked it.
Yep.
You fucked this, Bill. You fucking fucked this.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have Teddy with I don't know what.
Ashtray's pre-show antics.
Oh,
You
sorry.
inconsiderate piece of shit. So I come into the call, and this motherfucker, he's joined the call, but he didn't have the decency to mute himself. So I have to listen to an Asian crack whore and some purple haired trans person.
Oh my God.
Nah, trans person.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
It was a
I
slight
hope they don't listen to this
A
episode.
trans person? Who would say something like that? That is ridiculous.
Hey, at least I called him a person.
Oh my God.
All right, take him right down on the totem pole. I'm sorry, Eddie. Sorry there, Chetty. I totally offended you. Not even going to talk about my friends' names online in case they are listening.
Yeah, I wouldn't
love
say.
them. And yes, they are. They can be a bit much, but one of the friends I hadn't seen since pre-COVID. So
Well, Mistic had a pretty good a good point of it being like just a perfect cross section of Madison. Like you just have these fucking wackos coming in. One of them gives you a disco ball. And it's just
she is known for like a bunch of like weird random fun prizes and outfits and stuff, and I love her.
Dude, what's with the gold chain, bro?
She just gave this to me just tonight. Yeah,
there
that was
you
one
go.
of the things she pulled out of the box. Yeah, this is my fucking Cuban gold roll I rolled for Teddy.
Got some of that bling.
Right, because I knew he couldn't not comment on it. Total bait piece. Thank you, Teddy.
all right. Moving on. In all seriousness, go fuck yourself, Easter Island.
Easter Island.
Fucking
They're overdue
slackers.
for some fucking.
Are
Right.
they inhabited? Is it? It's not inhabited, is it?
There's gotta
bet
be
you there's a
somebody
Starbucks
there.
there.
Archaeologists, maybe.
Well, you know what? They shouldn't have given up on those fucking statues. Fucking slacking ass.
Right, they left some of them laying on their side.
Right.
Lazy ass.
That's our show. We're going to be here every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Central. Make sure you join the conversation at theredeyereport.com or facebook.com/redeyereport. Yeah.
I'm Ashtray.
That's the only place that you can find us.
Wow.
I'm Oracle.
I'm Mistic.
And I'm Teddy saying edibles are fucking awesome.
And this is the Red Eye Report.